Oh, everyone, it's Matt Michaels here with DJ Impact, Simon Street, Sin City Steve, and we are joined by Lindsley Allen, the creator of one of the, I'd say, hottest dance companies, review shows that has been put together, shall we say, since the Pussycat Dolls.
Ah,
Um,
totally.
and it's Cherry Boom Boom that we're talking about. Lindsley, how you doing today?
I'm good. It's good to see you guys. It's good to see my Vegas friends. Thanks
Glad
for
to see
having
you
me.
too.
Oh, we
Thank you.
we we are so glad we could get you on. We're going to talk a little today about the upcoming video release you have on the 18th here this Friday for You Ought to Know, which is basically a dance interpretation video of the Alanis Morissette song. And we're going to play a little, some clips and some teasers here to get our audience familiar if you're not with Cherry Boom Boom. But Lindsley, just so some of the guys can hear here and some of the viewers can hear, give us a little bit of your history in terms of how you got into dancing and what led you to the Pussycat Dolls, and then eventually leading you into Cherry Boom Boom.
Sure. I mean, I'll make the story short because it's a long one. I'm originally from Hanover, Pennsylvania, so from a super small little town. Danced all my life, classically trained ballet and modern and contemporary. And then I won a dance scholarship, Joe Tremaine, that brought me out to Los Angeles. And I started working right away as a professional dancer. Met Robin Anton, who is the creator of Pussycat Dolls. And then it was like just a group of us girls dancing together. It was four of us really that were invited at the Viper Room to open for Beverly D'Angelo. It was like a 15-minute little opener. And it was just the four of us. And at that time, there weren't dance shows at the Viper Room. The
Yeah.
Pussycat Dolls really were. And then we weren't even called the Pussycat Dolls yet. We were just like a group of girls that we were just, we always loved, Rob and I always loved Bob Fosse and like Sweet Charity and like Faster Pussycat. Like
Yeah.
just at that time, it was a lot of, hip hop and jobs that were happening that we weren't really right for. So we just started creating work ourselves. And I was a co-artistic director with her, with Robin. And for 7 years in the making, we actually created this a little bit of a bigger show. So in the middle of that, a couple years into it, we opened for Beverly D'Angelo. We had like a 50-minute show, and I'll never forget, Johnny Depp walked in when we were in rehearsal, and he saw us there, and he was like, "What is this? This is super cool. You guys really need to have your own night." So Johnny Depp, I really like, he really did give us a home at the Viper Room, and we had our own night there. It was like a Thursday night once a month. And so from there, we had to create a bigger show. So we went on like twice a night, like at 10 o'clock and at 12. And Rob and I had to expand the show because there was only four of us girls in the very beginning doing all the numbers and changing really quickly backstage. And I have some of those earlier pictures there. Christina Applegate did the show with us, and Gwen Stefani. And so from there, for 7 years in the making, like people think it was like an overnight success, right? But it took 7 years for it to grow. And then finally at that show, Gwen Stefani did the show with us. We had gotten a very big buzz, and Interscope Records saw the show that night. And I actually had created this number with like a microphone, and Interscope Records was like, "Oh my God, they could be a pop group." And literally things like changed overnight then after that, after Interscope Records came on board. But yeah, one of the founding members of the Pussycat Dolls. And then after that, then they auditioned like other girls, and it became like the pop sensation that it is today. Then I went on to study at the Actors Gang Theater, Tim Robbins Theater
Yeah.
Company, and learned Commedia dell'arte, and did a lot of shows and choreography, and then wanted to come back to dance because it's my first love. So I really combined my dance world with the theater world, Commedia dell'arte, to form and create Cherry Boom Boom. And Cherry Boom Boom's always had more of like a storyline and characters and theatricality, along with the super sexy kind of, Pussycat doll dance creation, but my own love of music, which I loved rock and roll. So, so that and like a very like kind of yeah, rock and like just music. Like my family is from races. My dad's a race car driver, so I grew up like listening to like Tom Sawyer and Rush and Led Zeppelin and like, so I loved all that music. So since this was my show this time, I wanted to use that kind of music, and that's really how Cherry Boom Boom started. And it ended up doing so well, I do believe, because of the theatricality involved in it, you know. And it's grown so much over the years, like it's evolved. We've had different incarnations, but that's sort of the short story of how Cherry Boom Boom developed.
All right, and we're gonna really quick here. We're gonna give a little taste.
This is at Harvell's. Yeah, this is the watch party.
That's amazing. So awesome.
It's nice.
Nice. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So
One of the coolest things about that, and this is something that has fascinated me when I started thinking about directing shows, is the immersion of the audience, where there is shit going around everywhere. And
Yeah.
that is one of the coolest things about using a place like Harville's.
yeah,
Man, there's just so much that you can do, so many creative things, that it just makes that experience something that you want to keep going back to.
oh, thank you. Yeah, I think it is one of the things for sure that makes Cherry Boom Boom different and stand out in that way of theatricality and using commedia dell'arte, where we break the fourth wall. So it's not just a performance, but we literally are like connecting with the audience and the room itself. We use the architecture in the room, and Harvell's is such a great playground for it because they already have the bars built in and the straps on the wall. There's some of the guys and the people that work there, they're from the circus as well, so they understand that theatricality. And when we came to Vegas, they were like a little bit behind on that concept, because I kept saying, Vegas called me and I said, yes, I would love to do the show in Vegas, but we have to make sure the room is really Cherry Boom Boom style. And that means that we have to be able to use the room and the architecture and maybe build some things, you know, in the room. And we had to build some bars overhead. We built some tables, a couple things in the room. I mean, it wasn't as much as I would like to do. My full vision is actually to build the room for the show.
Right.
Lisa and I have had to adapt the show each time to the room. So the show's been a little different each time because the room changes. But ideally, I would love to build the room for the show and have the people, you know, be the set, be part of the set. And it's like a playground for all of us.
Let me ask you a question with that in mind, and how you essentially make sure that the room meets the standards of Cherry Boom Boom production. What would you say, if you had the opportunity to have it your way, what would be your most ambitious or challenging set design you would want for the room?
Yeah, well, I've thought about it, and was starting to have meetings about that for sure. I think some of the rooms, like the Magic Mike room, was one at Hard Rock that we were looking at, where there's 360, where the stage is in the center and there's people all around. I mean, and then with that, I could even do like something like that. I still want it to be About 300. I wouldn't go more than 500 just because I want to keep that intimacy. We had gone to the Tropicana before, it's a beautiful hotel, but
Mhm.
the room was so big that it lost that intimate feeling. And so I took the show back and brought it back to its roots, which I don't want to lose that intimacy with the audience. So I think about 300 to 500 seat room, keeping it that kind of cabaret style, but I would love to modernize it because Cherry Boom Boom is a modern rock cabaret, is what I
Mhm.
like to call it. Or also a tent. I think this show could do really well in a tent as well. Um, so something like that, and we're definitely open to, and we were in talks about finding that room and building it out for the show
Awesome.
when COVID hit.
And COVID.
Yeah, yeah. And so many things have changed now, and I'm sure other rooms are going to open up. But that's the big picture. That's really my vision, is to build the room out.
So when COVID hit, the show was going on here in Vegas, as well as LA.
Yeah.
And just give the listeners and the viewers a little idea of what the impact of COVID was on you and the production, and how you had to then approach keeping Cherry Boom Boom alive um, in what is now going to be, hopefully soon, knock on wood, post-COVID world.
Yeah. And thanks for asking, because people are like, oh God, you guys are doing so well. And we see you out there, all the time, but it has not been easy. Like, for a lot of people, it's very, very challenging to take a very public show and to put it online, and also the financial backing of it as well. I took over the entire show on my shoulders because we had lost. It was a private investor, and he had also lost his job as well. So just through getting a small loan, a business loan, and just keeping, I wanted to keep the dancers employed and the choreographers employed and keep the show alive. And I really did feel like there was something to this virtual world, because I had been wanting to do classes and things online as well, but I didn't have the time to do that. So in a way, it was forcing me to learn all of those things and to put it online too. But it's been really challenging with a shortage of money, getting together creatively to be able to rehearse, funding in itself, figuring out with the COVID regulations, and just trying to keep it alive. We were partnering with Harvell's because they too are trying to keep their venue alive right now, really trying to keep live entertainment alive. So just doing whatever we can to keep it going, so that when things do open up and we feel safe, that we're ready to go, because we've been creating during this time. I'm not sure when that will be. I mean, I think Vegas is not really ready to come back yet. I think when it is ready, the smaller shows will be first to come back, because we are a smaller show. But so much has changed, and I don't think people are ready to come back till everyone feels safe. So it's been challenging.
Let me ask you really quick, because that also now adds another layer, and that is because Cherry Boom Boom is an audience um, immersive show.
Yeah.
What becomes then of, let's say, for the next year or so, that the regulations are X amount of people. Now you have X amount of people, but you have an encompassing cast literally dancing right around them, right in front of them. What challenge is that going to be? Because
Yeah.
it just hit me. It's like, oh shit, we
Yeah.
can't even. Yeah, that's crazy.
It's crazy. And what's so funny about it too is that people are like, when are you guys coming back? Like, we just want you to come back. Like, that's the thing. I think that during this time, people have loved whatever we've been doing, because we're just keeping it, the energy alive, the celebration, the dance, the music. We've really needed it during this time. I think it's really healing, right? That's what we need. Keep that spirit alive. But it's true, it's tricky to come back, and in the way that we do it. I have some ideas about doing it in a hybrid way. And even with Harvell's, we talked about it, because we actually had done the show. We did the little screening of the video, and they had like out back, like a back patio where they were serving like a few drinks, social distance, few drinks, and then we were showing the a bit of the screening on a big screen on the wall, which it looked amazing. And so I think we could actually do the show inside and then have it streaming, like do like a hybrid show, I think is the way to come back at first, to be like a lower capacity and have some people in the room, like very VIP, and then some people could be outside, and we could stream it and do the show inside, so people could still be social distance and watch, some sort of hybrid, to do that, which led me to the video. And the reason that I did you all to know is because that exact feeling was like, listen, we're a show that really connects with people. We use the commedia dell'arte. It's a visceral effect when you watch Cherry Boom Boom. So You Ought to Know, to me, it's very different than any way that we've seen the dancers before. They're really emotional. They connect to the audience. It's more a personal feeling, and it's more of the feeling that people would get when they would come to see the live Cherry Boom Boom show. You know what I mean? Like it gets in there. Like Cherry Boom Boom's hot and it's sexy. That's a given. Like that's easy, right? But the same thing when people would come see the show in Vegas, like, wow, this show is so much more than I realized. And I think this video does it as well. Like we break the fourth wall and we really like connect with people, in a way that's daring and vulnerable and raw and passionate and powerful. I mean, that's my theater background. Like I'm not afraid to go there, and that's what we do. We get into people.
So, a little bit earlier, you talked about kind of keeping the energy and keeping things, the energy still constant while waiting for things to open up. You kind of talked about your motivations. What are some of the personal motivations that some of your dancers and choreographers have had during this time of COVID, just to kind of keep motivated, other than, obviously doing what you're doing with them now?
Yeah, I mean, it's been tricky for everyone, for all the dancers, just trying to find work. And we're used to working, in a space together. I mean, to create, that's my process. We're like in the room together creating, and you see what happens in the moment. And it's been really challenging in that way because we're not together like that. So just doing what we can, doing the little bit, doing the classes, doing the live show, doing this video, just doing whatever jobs we can to sort of keep it going and keep it alive. But it's been challenging for the entertainment business for sure. We've been really hit hard. Dance studios have closed down. Entertainment business was like the first to get on lockdown, the last to come back. It's tricky.
Yeah.
We're doing what we can. I mean, we're doing what we can for sure. That's why I'm doing these videos and keeping it alive.
Most definitely. And now, if you would just kind of bring everybody up to speed on what the general creative process looks like whenever you're creating the video, or if you ever make any tweaks to the show, what does that creative process look like?
Yeah, I mean, and it's been different during this time too, because we did the live stream show, and we just did like an episodic, like a half an hour show, which that one is available as well, but it's on demand. It's tricky because it's, like I said, we don't have those hours in the studio like we used to have. Luckily, we have a team of dancers, so they know my style, they know commedia dell'arte, and we can pretty quickly like pull something together. I mean, this was really tricky. I had Melanie Lewis, who's choreographed for me before, from New York on a Zoom doing choreography. That was tricky for the girls to learn choreography through Zoom. But we did it, and I felt like this was the way to do it with the video, because I did the live stream show, but then I realized like we don't need to do the full show. Like people just really need like bits and pieces of it right now, you know? And I got this feeling like they didn't want to be too like indoors. They really needed to feel like, I don't know, like there was life was still happening, you know. They needed to feel like there was still that excitement and music and dance and celebration. So luckily we have numbers that we can create pretty quickly because the girls know the style and the theater training, and we just pull together and work pretty fast. Lisa and I work pretty fast together. We prepare a lot. We make sure that we're really, really prepared. And then in the moment, like we did the whole video in like 6 hours, which is crazy.
Oh, wow.
Wow, 6
Really
hours.
ambitious. Yeah. I mean, I like to move really fast, and we had to. We had limited funds, limited time, COVID there. We had to move really quickly. But it's amazing. Like, wait till you see it. It's so good. I'm really, really proud of. When I look back, I'm really proud of what we've done, because it has been challenging and a struggle, but we've really created some amazing things during this time.
And we're going to get a taste of it a little bit later, but right now I want to, because you did mention classes online, which
Yeah.
I think is one hell of an innovative thing to do. And right now I got something queued up here just to give everyone a little taste of, you know, what to expect if you're looking to, you know, do classes and keep yourself in shape, in condition to dance, you know, learn some new moves. But also, if you are bored during this lockdown, especially in LA, this is a great outlet here. And this
And
is
it's a show choreography. I mean, here's the thing. This is literally show choreography from the show that people can learn, and when they see us again, that you'll know some of the moves. It's pretty cool.
and let's give a little taste here.
Okay, Terry, you just learned all the choreography. Now all you have to worry about is there's 2 counts of 8 in the intro. You're gonna freestyle. Get creative, use your couch, move around the floor, do some floor work. That's the intro of the show. So you really want to take in the audience, bring everyone into your story. And then you start that boom choreography, yeah? Okay, so we're gonna take it one time up the tempo from the top. 5, 6, 7, we have a boom. Here comes the boom. Here comes the look. Here comes the hit. Here comes the up, together and hop. Ready or not? And up and dropping, boom. Here comes the hop. Ready or not? 1, 2, hop. And throw it, boom. Make this big. And a hop. Left, right, hit. Right, left, round. Stick. Ready or not? Shake it up. And a boom. Big boom at the end right there.
That's solid.
Yes, aren't they?
That is solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did the classes too, because of course I always get requests from dancers like, how can I be in the show? I want to audition for the show. And it's not easy. Like, you can tell these girls are like high standard dancers, athletic, all of it. They have like everything we're looking for. So this is a great way for dancers to, you know, practice if they want to come to a Cherry Boom Boom audition. This is literally some of the choreography from the show.
That's amazing.
I can only imagine how that is live. And like you said, the way the format of the show is live, like it's right there and you are immersed in these dance choreography moves.
Yeah. They're literally like, right, like, you know, in your face, on you, you know.
You feel the boom.
Like, you know, the whole thing with the commedia is like, you know, to really to share. It's really like sharing yourself with people. So, you know, you might be a little bit uncomfortable, but good. We go away with someone felt something that night, you know?
You know, it's interesting you say that is because, you know, I have never really had an opportunity to go to shows like that. But the first thing I think of when I see a show like that is wanting to invite somebody who's a little uptight, a little withdrawn, put them in the front row. And when the girls come out and they do their dance, just kind of look to the side and see like, oh my gosh, oh, he's starting to loosen up a little bit.
Oh, Absolutely. And we would see it from women all the time too. Like that one of the things that I love is that women love the show just as much as men do,
Mhm.
because it's real, it's like it's not an intimidating show for women. We actually get them to feel really good about themselves and sexy and hot and powerful. And we would see women all the time like feel a little bit uncomfortable, but we mess with the women just as much too. And by the end, the women are standing up and they're, their boyfriend, girlfriend, girls, guys, whatever, they're all having a good time together. It's like a big party for us. We really do have a good time. And I love that the audience has a great time.
So if anybody's watching this, especially the husbands, bring your wife.
It's a good
So
show.
that way she's empowered, she's
Yeah.
ready, and then when the show ends, you can have
Yeah.
a good night.
And it's sexy and they have a good time. It's really good. And they're in your face. I mean, be ready. They are in your face. And
What would you say your top 3 songs would be in terms of, something that inspires you to turn it into, a piece of art?
that's a really good question. And it's so true that it's usually that the music hits me first, and it definitely has to be something that moves me from the inside out. Um, and I say like it's rock, but there's a certain kind of rock I realize. It's like, you know, it has to have like a sexy, sensual, emotional kind of movement for me. Like it's not just it's not the big haired kind of rock bands that were just kind of the fluff, just because I
Right.
mean they're great for things too, but
Mhm.
there has to be some sort of like feeling from the inside out. Like I've loved a lot of and have used like Led Zeppelin and Jack White and Smashing Pumpkins and Alice in Chains, and I mean, Marilyn Manson. Like I love I don't know, you can just feel it when it's real, when it comes from like their gut, you know. Um who else? There's so many too. Um yeah, I mean, there was a lot of Kid Rock in there and a lot of Joan Jett and just it's a little bit eclectic for sure. I think it has like a really cool kind of 70s, 90s up to present day feel. Like it's all very complimentary. And
Mhm.
I do get a lot of people that say, I love the soundtrack and I should make like a Cherry Boom Boom soundtrack. Like it's not our own music at all, but I do get a lot of compliments about the soundtrack of the show.
That's a very interesting thing you just said there that I really didn't think about until you said it, and that is, have you dabbled with collaborating with people to create some kind of new sound, new soundtrack, something that maybe, not a full show of, but maybe 2 or 3 original songs to kind of, you
Yeah.
know, establish your product as a viable, wave of revenue towards, being all original.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's a really great point, and I would love to go there as we go more into the future. I think we had done like a little teaser once of Jack Rayner, who has done music for Katy Perry and all. He did do one song for us that was like a sizzle for Cherry Boom Boom, and I think that definitely is the way to go eventually. When we get there is to just start creating our own music for sure. I mean, ideally, I really see like a band in the show. And originally at
Mm.
Tropicana, that's what I wanted to do as well. But it just takes that's more funding, bigger budget. But I love music first, right? I mean, I'm a dancer. I love music. I love dancing. I worked with Prince for many years. Like, I love being on stage with an art. I don't play music, but dancing to it, you become the music, from
Right.
as a dancer. And so ideally, I think that is definitely what you're talking about. The way to go ultimately is to be able to have a band, Cherry Boom Boom, and have our own music as well. We actually did have, I did have a couple people playing along with when we were in LA. There was a girl drummer, she was playing along with the music. And then I had a guitarist playing as well with the music,
Yeah.
but not our own music. But yeah, I think that's definitely in the future.
And with that, let me ask you this. When you're creating the the um, the show run, are you looking to tell a story throughout the show, basically like a main thread, a theme thread, or a main character per se, that kind of elongates the journey for the audience to kind of see where everything kind of intertwines?
Yeah. Well, the bigger show that we had done at the Tropicana, the bigger show definitely had two actors, and the dancers were like sort of like the cabaret, the soul of the two characters, the lovers, right? Um, and then we ended up doing a smaller version, which was each of the girls had like their own character. It developed into
Sure.
them being like just the girl and her transformation. I mean, I definitely come from theater. I need more than just hot, sexy moves. Like it
Mhm.
definitely, it doesn't have to be verbatim story, but there definitely is a theme, character, really carved out characters, so that there's definitely more than just the steps and the choreography, for sure. Like I do feel like if I have a chance to do it fully, again with a bigger cast and with more money there to be able to do that, to be able to fish it out, it would have some sort of theme and character line for sure. Yeah, I'm definitely story driven.
So, a question I wanted to ask, because you did mention a little bit earlier when we were looking at the dance choreography routine, or at least tutorial. You said that you have, well, you will be having Cherry Boom Boom, auditions. What are some of the things that you're looking for in a potential Cherry Boom Boom?
Yeah, that, and I get that question all the time, and it's difficult for girls to to audition. It's very intimidating. They have to be technically high standard dancers, what I mean, like technically trained, ballet, jazz, modern, heels. And then on top of it, because we do this bar work, you have to be able to hold your strength and using that kind of bar work. It's sort of like gymnastics. I was a gymnast when I was young and danced at 40 Deuce. Lisa Eaton and I worked together at 40 Deuce. So that's why we kind of came up with this style, as well as using the architecture in the room. So you have to be athletic too. So the dancers have to be technically trained, they have to be athletic, and then on top of it, they have to be able to be emotionally open to be able to like express that theatricality too. So they really are the cream of the crop. I really have like the best dancers.
Well,
And it takes a little while. I think that we kind of hone them. Like we see
right.
dancers come in and we definitely see them develop, and they get better and better the more they do the shows. So it takes a second to get used to the style, but they do it. Yeah.
That's
And
awesome.
and speaking of some of those girls, we have a little thing here just to give you guys who are listening or watching just a little bit of a taste of some of the personality
Yeah.
of the girls who did the You Ought to Know video here. And let's get this up and going.
I said, are you gonna be my girl?
Do you have any special skills or hidden talents?
Yeah, do you guys want to see?
Yeah.
So this is top secret.
Okay.
So I customize clothes.
Yeah.
Cherry jackets, and we just completely destroyed them, and we made them beautiful in a different way.
Nice.
So these will all be for sale soon. One of a kind. And this one's my favorite.
Sick.
Cherry Boom Boom.
Oh my god.
So keep an eye out for those guys.
Better hit me up with the links now.
Right.
Yes. And where are you from?
I'm from Jersey.
Woo!
Just Jersey all
Just Jersey all around. Love it. Love it.
Any pets?
No pets. I do have a frog back home at my parents' house. His name is Pickle, and he's super cute.
Where are you from?
I'm from Arizona, but I also go to Houston because I went to college there and I want to move back there.
Are you want to go back to Houston?
Yes.
Yes. So being that you're new, you didn't No LA, no Vegas show.
No.
Brand new.
I've been to the LA show.
But when you do it, you're about to slay, yes?
Yes, hopefully.
Are you loving it so far?
Actually, really love it a lot. The girls are awesome. The team is awesome. Lindsley's awesome. Lisa's awesome. Everyone that comes in to create is amazing. Melanie, there's so many different people that are part of the show, behind the scenes and in the scenes, that just add so much value to the show. So I love being a part of the show because I feel like it's such a challenge and it's so empowering as a woman. It just feels good to be a part of something so creative, and so it has so much meaning behind it. Makes me feel hot being a mom.
Yes, love that. That's like an amazing answer. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I love it. Thank you.
They're so hot. I mean,
And they all have great personalities, very
Yeah.
captivating. Like they could host like an event or a show individually because they have that personality, just grabs your attention. Obviously their looks, but also their personality
yes.
lasts a long time.
Oh,
Definitely.
thanks so much. I mean, it's so true. When they come into the audition, I always can, yes, the dancing, but exactly like what you're saying, there has to be some sort of like star kind of, just something unique about them. I really like hiring very unique individual people that, you know, are ready to like stand out, and they're all stars in the show. It's so true. Each one of them is a star. They're just so great. I love working with them. They're really great girls.
Who was the first young lady that created the one-of-a-kind jacket outfits? Because I got to be honest with you, I see a lot of like people that create fashion, and that looked top shelf. That wasn't like I decided one day I was going to bedazzle some jackets. It looked really good.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Alyssa, one of the dancers, and she actually, her story is so awesome. She did, I think, like, we had an audition in LA, and she came to the LA audition, and she did like 2 shows in Los Angeles, and then we went to Vegas, and I took my core Vegas girls, and then Alyssa was like, you know, I want to be in the show in Vegas, and she literally drove from LA. I think her car broke down or something. She did her makeup in the bathroom, like at the gas station. She came to the audition, killed it. Like, that's just her personality, right? She's just fiery, strong, like, I'm gonna get this gig. Got the gig, amazing girl, hard worker, you know. And then I was like, hey, I would love to do some customized jackets. And she was like, oh, I do that on the side. So super talented. I didn't even know it, but she like took a couple jackets, and I said, yeah, do your thing. Let me see what you do with them. And she did that. And it's amazing. Like, just super creative. Love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And speaking of, what has been the ideas? Who's been behind the merchandising that you guys have?
I mean, you know, I'm doing like about 10 jobs, right? So, you know, and this has been the thing, like, it's my business. It's a small business. It's a woman-owned business. I don't think people in Vegas kind of realize that it wasn't being funded by the hotel. Like, it's a small business, right? And I'm sort of doing all of it right now. So I loved that it could be personalized with one of the dancers. You know, that's why I like the classes being done by the cast. And it's really like a company, you know, that I have with the girls. And I'm doing the merchandise, and it's on the website, cherryboomboom.com. Just some cute, fun things, but yeah. It's amazing.
For you know, for you, you know, taking the reins for, you know, everything that's going down with the company, the merchandise is top of the line quality stuff. It's just marketed very well as well, because the girls look fabulous in this stuff.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. You know, it's a one-woman show. It's my baby. It's my artistic baby. You know, I mean, it's just, you know, it's my creation. And when COVID hit, it really was like surviving. It really did feel like keeping my baby alive. And so, yeah, I'm just doing everything I can to keep us going. And I really, wear that on my shoulders, like the dancers having jobs, the other choreographers and directors, like it's just too good. I know that what we have is too good and people love it and it affects people in a really positive way, that I do feel like my job is to keep it going so that we can keep sharing it with the world, when it's ready to open up. So that's what I'm doing.
Well, I can tell you right now, just from, obviously having a conversation with you, seeing the clips, it's definitely a type of show that leaves you on the edge of your seat. And when you
Yeah.
leave the show, I guarantee you're going to want more and you're going to come back and you're going to bring some friends because it's a group atmosphere. It's something that everybody can share. You're in the car after the show or
Yeah.
having a cocktail, talking about the fun time you had at Cherry Boom Boom.
Yeah.
And when COVID is done, I guarantee you're still going to be strapped to that rock and you're still going to go all the way to the moon.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's one of the best things. Our fans, people would come back all the time and bring friends back and bring their boyfriends, bring their girlfriends. And, we had such great fans in Vegas and people love the show. You guys, such great fans, and it's so true. People love the show and come back over and over again. So we're ready when the world's ready.
And we're gonna here as we kind of wrap up, we're gonna take a very quick look. Now, this is a snippet. It's a very small snippet of You Ought to Know. I want to remind people that on December 18th, which is this coming Friday, you can check out You Ought to Know and the making of video. I believe the information is on Cherry Boom Boom's website, correct?
Yes, it is. And it's actually on our Instagram, Cherry Boom Boom the show. It's on the website, cherryboomboom.com. And I can also give you the direct link to the video on demand page if you like.
Absolutely. We'll take that and we'll put that up for our viewers and listeners as well. And let's bring up a little look here at what you might expect, people. Now that's why I said it's a quick
It's a sneak peek.
little tease.
It's just a tease. Oh
Just
my
a
goodness.
tease.
It's so good though. I really have to say I took off October because I was like, want to do something like very different for us and move forward. And I'm so, so proud of it. I really am. It's really great. So I can't wait for you guys to check it out.
And we're looking forward to seeing it on Friday. I can't thank you enough for joining us. It's really, when you find people who have the passion and desire to present a product that not only have you created the actual show, but you're talking collaborating on choreography, you're talking about costumes, you're talking about merchandise, website, booking venues, it's crazy how much that you personally put into it. Like you said, it is your baby. And the best thing is when you see something like this thrive, because you know that in your heart of hearts, you're seeing something that is absolutely special. And that could only come from your point of view, your perspective. And that is the best thing.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I really do. It definitely is a heart guts kind of thing, organic, just loving music and dance and all the things that move us as human beings, like all the good stuff, all the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. So it's all in there. But I really appreciate you guys doing this and all your support.
Absolutely.
Same
Absolutely.
to you as
And
well.
Thank you.
yeah.
And as soon as we get back, like front seat, VIP, what you guys, I mean,
I'm there.
Oh my goodness.
I'll take you up on that.
Yes. Yes. You guys will be so ready. It's going to be, and the girls are ready. Are you kidding? They miss it so much. They're like, we're so ready.
Well, I tell you what, if we get an opportunity to come when your first show back in Vegas, or if we can travel out to LA, that'll be amazing.
That would be
Just to
so
see that.
fun. Yeah, we have to do that. Definitely. You
For
guys,
sure.
definitely. VIP tickets for you guys for sure.
Thank you.
Especially if
Thank you.
things do get back to a state of normalcy where we can potentially go to LA, and we'll bring the equipment with us and live stream, from LA. How about that?
That would be so fun. I mean, that's the thing about this time. Like all kinds of new ideas are coming up, and let's do it.
And that's great because DJ Impact just gave me the look of death because he knows that all the equipment is going
Yeah.
in his car.
Yeah, we have a rule. We have a rule. If we go on the road, we all have to make sure we pitch in on putting the equipment together.
Yeah.
Dare not be late or leave early. So that was what that look was.
I mean, Barbell's is such a great spot. Like
Oh,
it's
it
a really
is.
cool thing. Like maybe we do LA before Vegas come. Who knows? Or Vegas. I'm up for it. Cheers to that, you guys. I'm ready.
Awesome.
I got water, but I wish I had me some. I would cheers you as well.
Well, we appreciate everyone for tuning in, listening. Please check out Cherry Boom Boom. Check out the website. As soon as we're done here, in a little bit, I'm going to put up the link so you guys can check it out on Friday, December 18th. And please, in this time more than ever, and I know a lot of you tune in, you see wrestling stuff from us. And like we say with professional wrestlers who are independent wrestlers, they're doing this on their own. So in these times, it's really, really hard financially for creative artists to do what they do to give us the pleasure we get. So please, please support ventures like Cherry Boom Boom and Lindsley. And it means so much to us to be able to, share it with everyone. And, just remember, everyone who watches something is entertained at some point, right? So therefore, please give back to those people who are working their butts off to just survive right now.
Thank you so much for that. We really appreciate it. And it really is because of our fans and supporters like you guys and just putting the word out there. And we really appreciate it. So thank you.
All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.